What's up guys, welcome back to Software Solutions, and today we're talking about Call of Duty Black Ops 6. And for you to have a smooth gameplay experience in this game and overall have a competitive advantage over your enemies and stuff like that, you're going to need to have really good settings overall, not just in your game but in your computer, so on Windows itself. And this is for all users out there. It doesn't matter what Windows you are running, it doesn't matter what components you are running, this is for all users out there. Now I'm going to try and make this video short, sweet and simple so you guys can follow along, much easy and very simple. And I'm going to jump straight into this, and let's go ahead and show you what you're going to need to change, what I've changed to have a smooth gameplay experience overall in this game. Alright, let's jump straight into it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so the first thing I highly recommend you go ahead and do is click on the start button over here and come to settings, and then come over here where it says Windows settings like this. Now this is for all users out there. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter if you're Windows 10 or Windows 11. Please go ahead and update your Windows updates. In general, please go ahead and do this. As you can see, I have a new update over here right now. I actually got this morning, and I need to restart my computer for this to apply to my computer. Please go ahead and do this. You need to do this for your computer to stay up to date, for your games to stay up to date. If your games are updating, your Windows needs to be up to date as well. From here, you're going to click on the home button, and then from here, you're going to come to gaming. From here, you're going to make sure your game bar is turned on right now at this very moment for Season 2, and go to game mode. Make sure the game mode is turned on for Season 2 right now as well, and then go to graphics settings and have hardware accelerated GPU scheduling turned on. Now, don't worry, if you don't have hardware accelerated GPU scheduling over here, or if you do, you can still go ahead and come and do this, right? Go to browse over here, and then go to where your Call of Duty is installed, whatever driver is installed, and click on Call of Duty launcher.exe. Yours might be HQ or something like that if you're running it through Steam. I am running it through Battle.net, so that's why it says Call of Duty launcher.exe. If it's the same on Steam, just click on Call of Duty launcher.exe and say add. Once you've added it, it will come inside here. You're going to click on options over here, and you're going to say high performance, and let it select your dedicated graphics card you're running right now at this very moment. Please do not let it say let Windows decide, because then it will jump between the two. If you have a CPU with onboard graphics like me, I have a 14700K and then a 4070 Super as a graphics card, it might jump between these two overall. If this isn't in here, or just in general, it will let Windows decide. So rather force it and let it use your GPU that you're currently running at this very moment, and click on save. Once you're done with this, you're going to go to the home button, and you're going to come to privacy. You're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom and come to background apps. Right now at this very moment, please go ahead, and then from this where it's on, go ahead and turn it off. Now this is for all users out there. Like I said before, this is Windows 10. It's a very easy, simple way to turn background apps off, is by just going from on to off, and then all these background apps won't use RAM, CPU usage, your drive usage, or just in general usage overall on your computer. If you are on Windows 11, please go ahead and just Google how to turn this off, because you have to individually turn them off on Windows 11. I'm not going to show you how to do that. It's going to make the video way too long. You have access to the internet. Just go ahead and Google it and get it over and done with, and disable all background apps. Background apps actually plays a very big role on your VRAM, plays a very big role on your RAM itself, and your CPU, and your drive that you're currently running right now, like an M.2 SSD hard drive. If you're on an SSD, it will play a huge role. If you're on an hard drive, it will play even a bigger role. If you're on an M.2, not so bad, but still, I'm running all M.2s, and I still put all my background apps off. From here, you're going to click on the home button, and then from here, I highly recommend you go ahead and do this. Please, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and do this right now. Go to apps over here, and come inside here, and then go to startup. Please go ahead and turn everything inside here off that you don't want to start up once you boot your computer. Please go ahead and turn them off. As you can see, I have all my things off that needs to be off, like Steam and stuff like that. I don't have these things open, and they won't open once I boot my computer unless I go ahead and select it and open up my Steam or open up my programs that I want to open. Please go ahead and turn them off. All right, from here, you're going to go to apps and features and come inside here. Now, there's something I want to point out is this. Please make sure that the drive you're currently running, if you have multiple drives or just one drive, that it's in the blue. Please go ahead and do that, that it's not in the red. I'm just going to make an example to you. I'm going to open this up and then move this from the screen. And as you can see, here's my drives. They all are in the blue. Please go ahead and have your drives in the blue. As soon as they go to the red, you're going to start having stutters in your game. You're going to start having bad experiences in your game, and just delete overall single player games that you don't play, or things on your computer that you know you don't need. Just don't uninstall these type of things, because this is meant for Windows. Overall, go ahead and uninstall some stuff on your computer that you don't play. Maybe you have games on your computer you don't play at all, or anything like that. Please go ahead and uninstall it. If you have way more than enough space, then you don't have to really care about this. But if you have like one drive, or your drives are starting to get full and it's becoming red, please go ahead and uninstall unnecessary bullshit off your computer. All right, from here, you're going to click on the home button, and we're going to come inside here. Now, as you can see, we are in the Windows settings yet again. Now, something that I just want to recommend to people out there is this right here. You're going to come to personalization, and you're going to come inside here, and you're going to come to where it says colors, and have your color at dark, have your transparency effect off, and then choose any color inside here. I normally select Storm over here, and this is how I run my Windows overall, just so I can have a performance increase. No matter what I do, I try everything to have a performance increase on my computer. Even though I'm running a 14700K and a 4070 Super, DDR5 memory at 6000 megahertz, and I still do these things, ladies and gentlemen, please go ahead and do this. It can actually help you and benefit you overall. All right, then you can just fuck out of this. Let's jump straight into the next step. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so the next step I highly recommend you go ahead and do is update your graphics card drivers. Now, a lot of people in my comment section down below with Nvidia cards actually told me that they can't get rid of this Nvidia app and that they want to get rid of it, but they can't. Now, it's very easy to do. You see where I showed you how to delete, like, let's say single player games and stuff like that. Like, literally go here, like the start, go to settings, and then come to apps, and then go to apps and features and delete it. You can delete the Nvidia app inside you. Just delete it, and then all you're going to need to do is then open up like a Google Chrome or Firefox or whatever you are using, and just say GeForce Experience download. You could just go ahead and do this, and then go ahead and download the GeForce Experience now, and then skip over the Nvidia app. The Nvidia app actually tanks FPS and makes the games run way worse on your computer overall, especially when it comes to Black Ops 6, and also especially when it comes to overall gameplay experience in general. When it comes to gameplay, every time I open my GeForce Experience, it keeps asking me if I want to install the app. Every single time I say no, not now. You'll see it will come up over here. I say not now. Don't say upgrade, just say not now every single time, and GeForce Experience will be open, and this is the best one you can use right now at this very moment. Some people are going to leave comments down below and tell me that the Nvidia app runs better on their computer. Now, if it does, then that's your thing. It runs perfectly fine on your computer. That's good for you. But for me overall, I've had a bad experience with it and I don't use it. You can come to drivers and make sure that you're on the latest graphics card drivers. Right now, I'm not using the latest graphics card drivers. I'm not using 572.16 for Black Ops 6. I'm actually using this one over here. I'm just going to show you if I open this up, move this over here. I am using that driver over there, which is 566.36. As you can see, it's installed on my computer, and this is the driver I'm using right now at this very moment. Please go ahead and figure out which drive is the best for you and performs the best for you. I know on the 40 series side and the 30 series side, 566.36 runs the best right now at the very moment as I'm speaking with Black Ops 6. Please go ahead and download it. You could just go again to Google, say Nvidia GeForce graphics card driver download 566.36, download it, install it, and install GeForce Experience, because it will ask you if you would like to install GeForce Experience included with your graphics card drivers. Please go ahead and do that. All right, let's jump straight into the next step. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so the next step I highly recommend you go ahead and do is this right here, and this is for all Nvidia users out there that's using Nvidia cards. Right click on your desktop and open up an Nvidia control panel, and let Nvidia control panel open, and it'll look like this. You're going to have adjust image settings with preview, and make sure you have this one selected that says use the advanced 3D image settings, and click on take me there, which is basically just going to take you to manage 3D settings and be inside here. Copy everything I have inside here. I'm not going to go over everything and explain everything. I do this on most of my videos. If you want to know what these things do, just go ahead and copy my settings as is, or go watch my previous videos where I actually go in depth and tell you what these things do and why they are there. All right. From here, you're going to apply these settings and then go to config surround and physics, come inside here and make sure that your GPU is selected, not auto select, not CPU, or GPU is selected, and say apply. From here, you're going to come to adjust desktop color settings and come inside here. This plays a very big role on how your game looks and how the digital vibrance looks in this game overall and in all your games that you're going to be playing. I highly recommend having this at 50 default, 65, which is literally 15% up from its default settings, to 65 from 50, and then have your gamma at its default settings, and your digital vibrance plays a very big role on how you want your game to pop. Okay, if you don't want it to pop too much and you've got an OLED screen or something that's really out there and it's got really good digital vibrance overall standard as you got the screen, then you can have this at like maybe, let's say 60. If you have a normal display or anything like that, it doesn't have a lot of digital vibrance, or you can't change the settings on this monitor itself, you can go ahead and tweak these things like to 75 or 80 or 85. My sweet spot has always been 95, and I've always had mine at 95. You can actually see this picture over here while I'm doing it and you doing this at the same time. If you pull this all the way to 0, it will go black and white. And if you pull it to, let's say, 50, that will be Windows's defaults right there. And you'll just see it will look washed out. You don't want that, so push it up to your personal preference. And then from here, you can just say apply settings. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump straight into the game. Let me show you the best settings you can use right now for Black Ops 6 Season 2 to have a smooth gameplay experience. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we are in the display tab right now. I'm going to go over the quality settings, the view settings, and every single thing that you're going to need to change in this game to have a smooth gameplay experience overall with your FPS. And it's going to depend on the machine that you are running, obviously, as well. Something I just want to point out is this over here. As you can see, it says other apps. It's using 1.36 gigs. That is like almost getting to 2 gigs of VRAM usage on my GPU, and you don't want that. So just in general, to point this out for you guys, is close all background apps. So if I press my Windows key like this, you will see that I'm busy listening to Spotify. I'm not going to hover over it. I'm using OBS to record, obviously. I'm using Discord. Now, all of these things in the background, running in the background, is using VRAM usage. I highly recommend when you play this game, close all background apps. Talking about Discord if you don't need to use it. If you really need to use it and you're playing with your friends, obviously then use Discord. Discord uses about 600 megs to 500 megs there around-ish. But I highly recommend closing all background apps so you can get this number down so that you can have more VRAM usage available to yourself to have settings tuned the way you want it to have a smooth gameplay experience and overall FPS boost in this game. Alright, so the first thing is obviously the display tab, and we're going to come to the display mode, and we're going to choose one of these inside here. Now, full screen borderless is for people out there that has multiple screens. I highly recommend choosing this if you have multiple screens. If you have one screen, I highly recommend using full screen exclusive. It gives less input latency, and overall, you won't get stutters in the game. You won't get stuff like packet bursts and stuff like that when you run your game in full screen exclusive mode. It just overall has less input latency and makes the game run really, really well when you have the game at full screen exclusive. You can even have the game at full screen exclusive if you have multiple screens, and you can also get away with that, and it runs pretty well as well. Then you get full screen extended window. This is for people out there rocking really low-end GPUs. I highly recommend using this, or even the windowed mode. I don't really recommend it as much as I would say, but the best ones you should be using right now should be full screen exclusive or full screen borderless. I'm running full screen borderless at this very moment, and it runs perfectly fine. But like I said, you can get away with full screen exclusive as well with multiple screens. All right, let's jump over to the next step. All right, so the next step is a very big role on this game as well. And I mean, this is something that a lot of people don't understand, that the aspect ratio actually plays a very big role on how your game runs as smooth as it can. Okay, a lot of people do select automatic because they don't know what screens they're running, if it's a ultra wide, if it's a gaming monitor, or whatever the case might be. I highly recommend that you do this, what I'm doing right now, and using 16:9 overall. Just use 16:9. It is the best experience you can have in the game of smooth gameplay experience. No stuttering, no lag, no feeling like you're rubber banding in the game or anything like that. The game runs really stable on 16:9. Please go ahead and select this. Restart shader preloading. We're going to come back to this because this is the very last step that you're going to need to take to apply all of these settings that I'm about to show you and what you're going to choose to for your game to run perfectly fine. Alright, display gamma, I have mine at 2.4. If you have something like a normal screen, let's just say you have a budget screen or just a in general monitor like a laptop screen or in general monitor overall, you go with 2.2. You go with 2.4 if you have a OLED screen or something like that. It makes the game pop, but you can try this out with normal monitors as well. Please go ahead and try it out. If you see more digital vibrance in your game at 2.4, leave it at 2.4 and leave it there. Alright, the gamma and brightness, I highly recommend putting this at either 65 to about 70 or even 75 right now at this very moment. There's dark spots on this maps, and I highly recommend bumping this up. Don't have it at its defaults. Alright. This one over here, as you can see, it says here, Nvidia Reflex Low Latency. I have this locked right now because if I go inside my quality tab, I have this on. Right, so I'm going to disable that quickly. I'm just going to show you why that would be off. All right, so now you can see that there's going to be changes because I put frame generation off. Now, I tested frame generation for a reason, and because I had a lot of comments down below in my previous videos of people telling me they're using frame generation and they're getting away with it. So if you're one of those people that's using frame generation for AMD or Nvidia, doesn't matter what GPU you have, and you're using it and you're getting away with it without stuttering, your game doesn't feel like shit and stuff like that. If you're getting away with it, there is people getting away with it in my comments, then this will be locked, okay? If you don't use it, which I don't recommend you do overall, but if you get away with it, it's your own personal preference. Like I said, if you're running frame generation, your game runs perfectly fine, use it. If it makes your game run worse, don't use it. It's frame generation. It's AI created frames. You are seeing fake frames, okay? It's not your actual frames that you're doing, right? You're not doing your native FPS. Anyways, so now we have Nvidia Reflex Low Latency. I highly recommend having this on plus boost right now at this very moment. If you have a high-end GPU and you have a lower-end CPU. If you have a high-end CPU with a lower-gen GPU, then you go on. Now, what I do recommend is leaving this on what the game gave you, okay? I have a 14700K, a 4070 Super, and then 32 gigs of RAM running at 6000 megahertz, and this game gave me on. And I left it there. I don't change this, I just leave it as is. Unless you do have a way better GPU than a CPU, then you go to on plus boost. If you have a way better CPU than GPU, go to on. Just don't put this off. All right. You're going to come to this over here where it says eco mode preset. Have this a custom VSync gameplay. I highly recommend changing this to 100% if you want to cap your FPS to the refresh rate of your monitor. So let's say you're doing 60 hertz, 120 hertz, 144 hertz. Everyone out there has different displays. So I can't say the percentage because I don't know the percentage. It's all over the place. I can't say like 30% of people are using 60 hertz. I can't say that because too many people have different screens. But if you want to cap your FPS to the refresh rate of your monitor, so 60, 120, 144, 240 hertz, then put this at 100% if you are getting screen tearing. It's one of the only reasons why I would change it to 100% and putting it on is if you're getting screen tearing, or if you're experiencing stutters in your game, then turn it on, okay? Or if you want to cap your FPS. That's the main reason. Then VSync menus, this will just cap your FPS to the refresh rate of your monitor in the menus like this over here. So that's all good and whatever the case might be. Cool. Now, custom frame rate limit, I have mine on unlimited. Unless you want to cap your FPS to a certain refresh rate, you go to custom and you come inside here. Now, let's just say you play your game on every single map in this game, right? On Black Ops 6. And you do about, let's make an example. You do 160 FPS, right? I would highly then recommend hitting 140 here, like this. 20 FPS less than what you're doing overall at the highest FPS that you get in the game while playing the game on all maps. Do 20 FPS less if you want to cap your gameplay's FPS experience while playing. Then you won't have this FPS which is all over the place and stuff like that, and your game just feels like absolute dog shit and it's unplayable. All right? I highly recommend going to do this, right? Just please go do this. If you want to do this and you want to cap your FPS in your gameplay, if you want to do this, it's your own personal preference. Menu, this is your own personal preference, and then this is your own personal preference. I have mine unlimited and always have mine unlimited. I want to see what FPS I can achieve while tweaking settings, while playing the game, while doing the settings I do in general. All right, reduce menu render resolution, native. Pause game rendering, off. Reduce quality when inactive. This is obviously for people out there that is constantly on this game and they don't really I don't know, they're 24/7 on this game, or you know, they're every day on this game, playing this game. They don't really quit out of the game and play other games. This is the main game that they're playing and stuff like that. Then I would highly suggest you put this on 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Then what it will do is it will basically reduce the quality when inactive. So when your mouse isn't moving and you're not by your PC and you're in this game, it will reduce the quality and then obviously stop taking so much performance from your GPU, your CPU, your RAM, and your drive itself. Okay, that's the main reason why this option is available to you and why it is meant to be used. Okay, I have mine off. If I don't play this game, I just completely fuck out of the game and quit the game. Okay, that's just me, my own personal preference, my own personal opinion. Everyone has their own opinion. You're going to see in my comments down below, everyone has their own personal opinion, because that's just life. Anyways, all right, so focus mode, I have mine at 0% and just have this at 0%, because this will then, if you have other screens, if you put this at 100% and you apply it, all your other screens will go completely black and you'll only be focused on the main screen you're on right now, which is this screen that I'm on right now. I have two screens on my left and right hand side. They completely went black right now. I'm going to apply it to 0 because I want to monetize my YouTube and I want to check what's happening on my Discord. Right, so leave this at 0%. From here, you can just apply these settings and then come to the quality tab. Now, this plays the most important role on this game in general, is this right here. Okay, it's the upscaling and sharpening. All right, so AMD FSR 3 doesn't look the best overall. I'm going to be straight up with you guys right now, and I'm going to be honest. AMD FSR 3 is for people out there that has not the best of graphics cards, okay?
Not bad, not bad.
Brother, what's that?
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
Nice.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
I mean, it's alright, like...
I'm gonna come. Oh.
I mean, it's alright, like...
Wow! Beautiful! I don't care. I'm really rich. I'll show you that in a second.
If you don't have the best of graphics cards and you know you don't have the best of graphics card, it's a low-end card, then go with AMD FSR at quality, okay? If you've got a really low-end graphics card, I would go with performance. If you got a mid-range graphics card that can't handle this game that well, then go with balance. If you have a decent enough graphics card and you want to use this option, use it at native. So it will do the native resolution of your monitor, 720p, 1080p, or 1440p, all the way up to 4K. Please go ahead and select this. Please go ahead and select this if you want to do your native resolution of your screen. Okay, now AMD FSR 1 plays the exact same role. Some people get away with AMD FSR 1 instead of AMD FSR 3, and they come inside here and they have it at ultra quality. There is no native option, ladies and gentlemen. You won't be doing the native resolution of your screen. Okay, but what I highly recommend you go ahead and do is have this at ultra quality then. If you have, like I said, a budget gaming graphics card, go to quality or balance. Just do not put this at performance. Your game's going to look like a blob and it's going to look like just absolute dog shit, and you're going to throw up all over your keyboard, or you might just throw your whole computer out your fucking window. Please don't put this at performance, either balance or quality if you have a lower end graphics card. Now, for the people out there that wants to use Fidelity FX Cache, I know a lot of people use Fidelity FX Cache, and this is how I use it. I use Fidelity FX Cache at 70%, my personal preference. And like I want to say is this: Fidelity FX Cache is one of the best upscaling / sharpening in Black Ops 6 overall. The game looks sharp, the game looks good, the FPS is there, everything's there with Fidelity FX Cache. Try this out even if you have a low-end graphics card, a medium-end graphics card, all the way up to a high-end GPU. Please go ahead and select this. It's a very good option. Then a lot of people do use the Nvidia DLSS. I actually tried this out earlier on, and it actually runs really fucking well. I'm not going to lie to you. If you have Nvidia DLSS as an option with an Nvidia card, please go ahead and select it and try it out. Nvidia DLSS looks really good. I'm not going to lie, it runs really good and looks really good as well. So you're getting the FPS and you're getting the quality out of the game as well. I have mine at quality over here, and I run my game perfectly fine like this. Now, if you want to bump up that FPS and you want a little bit more FPS, go to balance, and it will balance out the quality and the performance, meaning it will balance out the quality of the game and balance out your FPS at the same time. Please go ahead and select that. You should be good to go. Just never go to ultra performance. You're going to throw your PC out your fucking window. All right, from here, you're going to come down. There's more options inside here, which is the Nvidia DLAA. A lot of people actually left me in my comments down below that they actually use this option and they can get away with it. If you're using this option, you get away with it. I am not one of those people. I hate this fucking option. It just makes my game look like shit. I don't like it. But if you are using it, then use it like this. Nvidia DLAA at 50. I tried it just to see how it looks. At 50, it's fine, okay? But for the love of fucking Lord. I'm sorry. It's just this upscaling makes me want to fucking puke. Anyways, just in general, just if you get away with this, whatever, cool, then you use this option. Nvidia image scaling is for lower end GPUs. Like I said, this is for Nvidia cards out there that is a lower end. So 1660s and stuff like that. GPU is equivalent to that. I highly recommend using this option, using it at native, or yet go ahead again at quality or at balance. Do not put this at performance. Yet again, you're going to take your PC and throw it out your fucking window. It's that bad. Yes, it is that bad. I've tested this. It's that fucking bad. Okay, so go either with quality or ultra quality or native, so it does the native resolution of your monitor, and your sharpness is your own personal preference. All right, then we get the Intel upscaling. A lot of people also left me comments down below you saying, yo dude, I'm using this option. So it means that everyone has their own personal preference when it comes to upscaling and sharpening. Now if you're using Intel's upscaling, okay, bear with me. When you choose this option, you have ultra performance, performance, balance, quality, ultra quality plus, and then native. Ultra quality plus looks really good on this option with Intel's upscaling, or you can yet again use native and do the native resolution of your monitor. Like I said, 720p, 1080p, 1440p, and 4K, right? Go to native, it will do the native resolution of your monitor. Or you can go to ultra quality plus, and the game looks really well on this upscaling as well if you're choosing this option as a preference. All right, so then the rest of these things are basically off, which I never suggest you do. Do not, I repeat, do not turn this off. Rather choose the upscaling inside here that you prefer. I prefer Fidelity FPS Cache, and this is how I run my game, and this is how I run my game personally. It's my own personal preference. Nvidia DLSS frame generation, if you get away with it with, let's say, Nvidia DLSS, right, and you turn this on and you're getting away with it, that's good for you, okay? But I don't recommend it because it actually makes the game run, for me, worse. You are seeing fake frames in any ways. It's like sugarcoating dog shit, basically, to put it in layman's terms. Anyways, but if you are getting away with it, no problem. Be like, you can leave me a comment down below and say, hey, I'm using a DLSS, I'm using frame generation, my game runs perfectly fine, no lag, no nothing. Then tell us in the comments down below what GPU you are running, what CPU you are running, what RAM you are running, and we should be good to go. Then maybe there's people out there to run similar components that you have, then they can use this as well and benefit out of that settings as well, ladies and gentlemen. This is why I say leave comments down below, leave a like, smash this like button, and yet again, like I said, leave a comment down below and smash the motherfucking like button if this actually works for you. All right, then you get AMD's frame generation. That's obviously going to be if you are using AMD's like stuff in general, right? That's when you use AMD's stuff, or you can even use the DFX cache on both of these, all right? But I don't recommend it, okay? So I'm going to run mine as is. The VRAM scale target, I've actually talked about this in a couple of my videos, why you would use 80 and 60 and not the highest it should go to. So 80 is for high-end GPUs. I'm talking about 30 series, 40 series, and now 50 series as well, and the equivalent on AMD side. Okay, then when you're running lower cards than that, like 20 series and 10 series and stuff like that, I would highly recommend you go ahead and put this at 60 and leave it there, and then start playing around with these settings instead and have that gap there that you're not using and use it here. All right, so I'm going to put mine back at 80, so I still have 10% of play around with my VRAM inside these settings. All right, this one, a lot of people ask me, why do I skip over it? The reason why I don't use it is because for my own personal rig, my 14700K, my 4070 Super, and my 32 gigs of RAM running at 6000 megahertz, this makes my game give a little bit of stutter, like slight bit of stutter. And I can actually see it in my graphs while I'm testing the game. I can actually see it. So this is why I don't use it with my rig. If you are using this with your rig and your game runs perfectly fine, go ahead and use it. Okay, a lot of people did ask me, why do I skip over this? So I'm not going to skip over it now, and this is the reason why I skip over it, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, now we come to a very, very important part of this game when it comes to Black Ops 6, the details and textures. Okay, right now at this very moment, when you come inside here, and let me just actually fucking click on this, low runs perfectly fine and the game doesn't look like shit when you have this at low. And as you can see, the VRAM changes. If I put this at high, look at the VRAM usage. When I put it at normal, look at the VRAM usage. When I put it at low, look at the VRAM usage. But when I put it at very low, you're never going to select this option. Very low is yet again, you're going to throw your PC out your window because of how bad the game looks. Low, you can actually get away with this and the game looks still perfectly fine at low. I'm not going to lie to you. If you run this at low, because you're obviously using upscalings and stuff like that, running this at low, it runs perfectly fine and the game looks good. But for me, with my machine, I run it at normal. All right, tester filter anisotropic, I run this at high, just in general with my rig, but overall, I would say running this at normal as well, and you should be good to go. Depth of field, who in their right mind plays with this option? It's a bullshit option, it's multiplayer, why would you have this on? Turn it the fuck off and done. Detail quality, please, for the love of fuck right now, at this very moment, if you have a decent graphics card and you have a decent machine, run this at normal. It actually makes the game look better overall in the long run while you're playing the game. Because it's BO6, it's small little maps. It is not Warzone. If you're playing Warzone, I would recommend changing this to low. Okay? If you're playing Black Ops 6 only, normal, okay? It's small maps. It's like 6x6, 8x8. It's not a battle royale map where you jump out of a plane or a helicopter and stuff like that, where it has to render in multiple characters and it has to render in trees, ground, and just overall terrain, basically. So it uses a bunch of your CPU and a bunch of your GPU to do the rendering work. So I highly recommend them putting that at low when you're playing Warzone. But when it comes to Black Ops 6, have it at normal. Do not put it at high. I repeat, do not put it high. Then the particle resolution at normal as well. Bullet impacts, have this on. It has no effect on your GPU or CPU. It says low here for a reason. All right. The effects you can turn off because you can still see the effects while this is turned off. You can still see the effects in the game. So just turn it off. Right? Shader quality right now, this very moment, please, for the love of fuck, do not put this at high. You do not need to see the shader quality. There's a preview of what shader quality looks like. So now you can see water and reflections, and yeah, you can't. You don't need to see that. You're not going to be running around looking at yourself and be like, oh my god, it looks so pretty. Please don't fucking do that. Put it at low and leave it there and get that extra FPS that you want with this game. Since this game is so unoptimized in general and runs like dog shit, stop using options in this game that makes the game run even worse. So for the love of fuck, leave it at low and leave it at low and fucking done. On-demand texture streaming, minimal. You cannot turn this off. Ever since Modern Warfare 3, you cannot turn this off. So I highly recommend running at minimal. Then you have local texture streaming quality. Leave this at normal for all graphics cards out there, all PCs out there. Every single person that's playing Call of Duty right now at this very moment, leave it at normal. I don't care if you're running this game on a fucking calculator or Samsung fridge or even on a fucking toaster. I don't care. Leave it at normal for all those users. If you're playing this on a toaster or on a Samsung fridge or a calculator, normal. Done. Alright, shadow and lighting plays a very big role in the game as well. But yet again, it's Black Ops 6. Small maps that's being rendered. So go ahead and put this at normal. You should be good to go. Screen space reflections off, always off. Leave it the fuck off and done. Screen space lighting off and leave it fucking off and done. Screen space reflections off and done. Static reflection quality. Optimus Prime is not going to stand up and walk around. Please, for the love of fuck, turn these things off and get it over and done with to get that extra FPS. Alright, then the environment plays a very big role in the game itself. Now, in BO6, I highly recommend having this at all. You can have this at near if you have a lower gen graphics card. Have it at near. Then it will render into things close to you. But if you put it at all, it will render things further down the line on the map. So the further down you look through your scope, it's going to render things in for you. Now it will render it automatically in if you have this at all. On a budget gaming graphics card, you'll tank FPS. So if you have a good graphics card, have it at all. Okay? You should know if you have a good graphics card or not. Okay, by this time in 2025, you should know if you have a dog shit graphics card to a medium graphics card to a high-end graphics card. 40 series and 50 series and the equivalent on AMD side is still classified as high-end graphics cards. Okay, the 5000 series is out right now, and that's classified as the highest-end graphics cards right now. Okay, you get my point. So if you're running something like a RX 580 or something like that, don't be like, oh my god, I've got 8 gigs of VRAM, it's a good card. No, it's not. It's a piece of shit. It's the equivalent of a calculator. So please don't. Please, for the love of fuck, don't. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, while I got you here, I am doing a full-on 40 series graphics card giveaway, and all you're going to need to do is be subscribed to my YouTube channel and leave a comment down below, GigaChat, and I'll be picking a random subscriber of mine for a giveaway for 40 series card. I know a lot of people out there don't have the cash to buy cards and they have to sell their kidneys on the black market to get one. So I'm doing a random giveaway to one of my lucky subscribers. Alright, volumetric quality low, you do not need to see this. Alright, then the physics quality off, the weather grid volumes off, and the water quality off. I'm not going to rant and rave about it, just off, just leave it the fuck off and fucking done. Alright, then you're going to apply these settings and then go to the view, and you're going to have this over here. Your field of view plays a very big role on the game as well. If you're running a budget gaming graphics card, you can actually dip this down to get more FPS. I'm not going to lie to you. If you put this at 101 like this, like that, you get more FPS with a budget gaming graphics card. Okay? I've tested this myself just on an older gen machine. You actually get a little bit more frames, but if you don't want to see 5 more FPS, then don't give a fuck and put it at the highest it can go to, which is 120, and leave it there. This is how you can see 120, this is how far you can see. 100 looks like that, 80 looks like that, and 60 looks like that. It literally gives you a preview. It spoon feeds you on how it looks. Alright, then you get your ADS, have it affected, weapon field of view, have this at wide, ladies and gentlemen. It actually helps in general of how the game plays and how you are playing the game. Alright, we're going to scroll all the way down and come to this. World motion blur. Turn this the fuck off, please. Turn it the fuck off. Weapon motion blur, off. It's a multiplayer game. You're playing Black Ops 6. Turn it the fuck off. That just makes me want to throw up. And then this is just throw up on keyboard directly. All right, so turn these the fuck off and then fucking done. Inverted flash, you can turn this on if you want inverted flash, then you won't go completely white and physically fucking blind at night while you're playing the game. It will look like this when you get flashbanged. Right, now we're going to apply these settings. Just apply these settings if you haven't, or whatever the case might be. It doesn't say apply here when you're in your view tab. Just apply yours to what you want, and you're going to come to interface. You're going to come in here, and you're going to come to color customization. You're going to come to this, and then you have your team, whatever color you choose as your team, right? Have your party as the exact same color. As you can see, mine is the exact same color. Please go ahead and do that. Enemy, you can have a custom color and then choose whatever you want it to be. Mine has always been magenta pink. It will always be magenta pink. And this is how I like my game. You're going to come down all the way to the bottom and be a color filter. Color filter 2 is the best one and always been the best one ever since Modern Warfare 3 actually came out and Modern Warfare 2. For color filter 2 is the best one out there. Please go ahead and select this, but yet again, it's your own personal preference. Have this at both, not world, not interface, at both, 100% and 100%, and you should be good to go. Now, let me show you the most important thing that you're going to need to select for these settings to apply to your game. Alright, so you're going to come to the settings tab, you're going to come to display, and you're going to come to restart shader preloading. You're going to select this, click on restart, press escape, press escape, press escape, press escape, press escape, press escape, and then click on, are you sure you want to quit to your desktop? You're going to click on yes. Then you're going to quit to your desktop. Then launch this game through whatever you are playing this game through. If it's Steam, if it's Battle.net, it doesn't matter. Xbox, Game Pass, whatever the case might be. Then relaunch your game. Then the settings are going to apply to your game. Once you're in your game, ladies and gentlemen, at the top left corner here, it's going to say installing shaders. Then just one click. Just like a click, so your game and screen and computer registers that you're in the game right now, and it needs to install the shaders and apply the settings you just set to now for your game to run at that settings. All right, so this is how you apply it. Let that shaders completely finish installing to 100%, and you should be good to go. Ladies and gentlemen, if this worked for you, smash the like button, leave a comment down below, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're new here, and as always, I hope to help the community as best I can, and as always, peace out.